Hey guys, today we're driving the new F-150 Lightning. This is a 2022 Lariat with the standard battery pack. It'll do 230 miles on a full charge. The extended range battery pack will do 320 on a full charge. This has 426 horsepower and 775 pound-feet of torque. It is properly quick, dual motor, all-wheel drive. I'm excited to show you guys around this new F-150 Lightning today. Let's talk about it. Let's walk you around it. And we'll take it for a drive. This one is painted in antimatter blue metallic, a gorgeous color on these F-150s. Also, big shout out to Jack Demer Ford and MRT Performance for providing us with this truck today. Check out their websites and links in the description. This is the most aerodynamic F-150 ever. We have a revised front grille, revised running boards, smoothed out underbody. We still get a decent amount of ground clearance. This has an electronically locking rear differential. We have aerodynamic looking wheels, which I actually think look pretty sharp. Here's the charge port. I like how Ford leaves this at-home charge cable port open so that you can just plug it in. You don't have to open up an additional door. I think this is a really good looking truck. It's very similar looking to the standard F-150, except for wheels, slightly different front bumper. You've got this bar LED light on the back. This will tow up to 7,700 pounds with a standard battery pack. The extended range will tow more. Very familiar looking tailgate. We've got our rulers, our steps, our pole to get up into the bed, all those things that you see on the standard F-150. No surprises there. In the back, we get our Pro Power on board system. You can use this to power tools at the work site, your house for a couple days, all sorts of fun stuff. I always forget, you just press the button and it closes itself. Very nice. Looking in the back, very standard Ford F-150. Rear seats fold up. Very spacious, very comfortable. Tons of legroom. I'm 5'10", seated behind myself. I can pretty much just stretch out. We have Ford's new Sync 4 system that's been updated, and I actually really like it now. This is a larger 15-inch display in this Lariat trim. Let's hop up front, and we'll show you guys a couple more things. One of my favorite things about the new F-150 Lightning is that it has a very large frunk. Look at this. We've been driving all these EVs lately with just tiny little frunks. You could fit a sandwich in there, and that's about it. There's all sorts of room in this frunk, and makes this a much more practical truck to use, in my opinion. You've got another bunch of power outlets back here, USB chargers, all this good stuff. Here's where the 12-volt battery lives. A little bit of storage underneath too, for charge cables, etc., what have you. This is great. I've always thought trucks are missing a trunk area, and this solves that problem. To close it, just push the button. All right, let's hop up front. We'll show you a couple more things, and then we'll take this for a drive. In this trim, we have the 18-speaker B&O sound system. We'll test that out at the end of this video. We have this shifter that folds down so that we can turn this into a table to eat burgers, do work on. Pretty neat. This shifter still just feels cheap and clunky. It would be nice just to have a column shifter or a push button shifter, but that's okay. One thing you do have to be careful with, don't put your hand or anything in here when you fold this down, because it will it'll hurt. Ask me how I know. We have wireless charging right here, some more storage in the cup holders. We've got a center console with plenty of room. Two glove box situations over here. One on the top, one on the bottom. Another 12-volt outlet and plug outlet. Lots of charging, lots of storage in this F-150. Pretty nice looking interior. Oh, and this costs about $69,000 as tested for the Lariat standard range trim. The extended range battery adds 10 grand onto the price of any F-150 Lightning. Okay, let's take this for a drive. Otherwise, this is pretty much standard Ford F-150 in here. I like that this is just a F-150 with a massive battery pack. It weighs about 6,000 pounds, which is reasonable, I think, for a truck of this size, considering some of the competition weighs even more. Nice looking reverse and 360 cameras. We have wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, all that good stuff. Pretty responsive touchscreen. Ford went through the Sync 4 system and reorganized everything, and it actually feels really good. It's much more intuitive to use, and there's a lot of settings in here, a lot of customization. We have one pedal driving. I've actually enabled that today just because it's kind of my driving mode of preference. And then we have a few other different drive modes: normal, sport, off-road, tow haul. And you can also enable the electronically locking differential in this. All right, off we go. So I've got to say, right off the bat, this is one of the most impressive EVs that I've driven lately. I think this and the new BMW iX have kind of blown me away the most. This F-150 Lightning and how smooth and just refined it is. And same with the iX. These new EVs, this is really just kind of a new generation of electric vehicles. Ford has done such a great job with this Lightning. It is an absolute powerhouse. And it's very nice to drive. Definitely feels a little bit heavier and heftier than the standard F-150. And that adds a little bit of, additional luxuriousness to this truck. Yes, it feels like it has some mass, but it's very well planted. It's very solid. And I think that adds some appeal to this truck in the way that it drives. It really just carries itself beautifully down the road. Ride quality is excellent. We have independent rear suspension in this Lightning now. The one-pedal drive system is tuned very well. Definitely an improvement over the Mustang Mach-E's system, where sometimes braking at lower speeds got a little bit wonky, a little bit jerky. This comes to a stop perfectly smoothly. Power delivery is just instant. Throttle tuning is excellent. Or I guess accelerator pedal tuning. Brake pedal feels pretty normal too, if you ever do need to dip into it. Let's go into sport mode and see how that feels. A little bit of wheel spin. This Lightning is very quiet. All you'll hear when driving it fast is wind noise and tire squeal. We have Ford's excellent adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist system. No Blue Cruise in this Lightning, but everything in here works pretty well and is very easy to use. You can quickly change 5-mile-an-hour increments on the cruise control stock. Pretty quiet and comfortable on the highway too. Otherwise, everything just feels like a normal F-150, just refined with a wonderful electric powertrain. And I think that's the big surprise here, is just the level of refinement, comfort, quietness, smoothness. That's why I'm so impressed with this F-150 Lightning, is just because of how great it is to drive. The interior feels really solid, no rattles, no clunks. Ride quality is excellent. It'd be excited to get one of these off-road someday. See what it's capable of on a trail. There is so much torque. You heard it squirreling the tires back up here on a launch, and yeah, the power from a dig is absolutely brutal. Lane centering works pretty well too. It will prompt you every 10 to 15 seconds or so to put your hands back on the wheel. But as long as you keep a little bit of torque on the rim when you're just cruising on the highway, it doesn't seem to bother you too often. Regenerative braking is pretty strong too. You can definitely one pedal drive this if you're just cruising around. If you do need to get it back into the brake pedal, it's a very natural, progressive, linear pedal. No surprises there. Go back into normal mode. I think between normal and sport, it pretty much just changes throttle input. A little bit of safe understeer around corners. Luckily, you can hear everything that's going on with the front tires. And this is all regenerative braking right here. Really comes down from speed nicely. Great visibility in this F-150 too. I've always enjoyed these mirrors that angle out to the side so you can see a little bit more behind you. Pretty much exclusively driving this with one pedal drive today. It just sits back on those rear wheels and launches. Surprisingly quick for something this big and just making very little to no noise. This is one of the quieter EVs that I've driven. Let's do a quick launch. Sport mode, for whatever it's worth. You can even turn traction control off. Nice. If you brake boost it, you can get a little bit more wheel spin. We'll turn traction control back on. All right, guys. Well, there's the new 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning. A really fantastic truck. If you can get your hands on one of these, it's highly recommended. It charges reasonably quickly to 80%. I believe it's around 40 minutes or so from 10 to 80%. Don't quote me on those numbers, but you know, as a daily driver, as a truck to use for local driving, it doesn't get any better than this. The versatility with the frunk, the EV powertrain, the quietness, the smoothness, the refinement here is pretty unmatched in the segment. And I've yet to drive the Rivian R1T, and of course we've got some other competitors coming out from GM. And maybe Tesla one of these days, who knows? But until then, this F-150 Lightning really delivers, and Ford's done a great job with this truck. So Again, big thanks and shout out to MRT Performance here in Plymouth and Jack Demmer Ford for providing this F-150 Lightning for us to test and review today and share with you guys. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.